society, people with stutters are often thought to be dumber, to be dumber, to be dumber.
Hello and welcome to Stammer On with me, John, a husband and a father who's been a covert stammerer for over 30 years. So today we're going to be looking at yet another video from the internet all about stammering, and we're going to look at it and I'm going to comment on the video. So without further ado, let's take a look.
Back into France, and the Byzantine Emperor Michael II all had stutters so pronounced that they were each referred to as the Stammerer. So
now let me stop the video instantaneously there. I love how a lot of the videos start off with a fact from history. The relevancy of that is I don't really know, but it's good to know, I guess, that the history is there, and I just need to stop him there to say that there's only one stammerer, and this has been established, and of course that's me. Kidding, of course. Let's get on.
if you have a stutter, you could be an emperor one day.
Now, from the offset, I know that these videos are there for educational purposes, which I don't disagree with. However, I just think that when videos such as this, and I can already get a theme for the video, is that I think that they need to be more mindful and they need to be more respectful, because they clearly don't know the audience, they don't know what it's like to have a stammer. So to basically be blasé and say you can become an emperor, I'm sorry, I just think it's just nonsense.
Hey there, stuttering stallions, Jules here for D News. A stutter is a type of speech disorder.
Stuttering stallions. For so many reasons I find that offensive. Not offensive in a I'm an offended way. It's more of a case of, again, it's so blasé, and it's so, a stallion is a male, and it's not just men that have a stammer. So I just find that a bit too blasé, and again, just really, really clumsy.
When your speech is involuntarily broken up by repetitive sounds or blocks where you can't quite say the sounds you want to. More than 70 million people worldwide are believed to be stutterers. Some develop the stutter in childhood and it goes away. Others can develop it later in life. Boys get it more often than girls, and they're more likely to have it persist into adulthood.
So I find he's kind of not wrong so far in terms of, what he's saying is sort of based on some truth. But I just think the context is just too brief. I think if you're going to put out content, then you need to give a little bit more context behind it. Some people have a stammer, then it stops, then you get it. Some people can then just pick it up when they get older. Yeah, but you need context behind that. You don't suddenly just... You can't catch a stammer, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make here, and the context behind it is just not there. So I just think it's too blasé, and I just think it's almost like, again, it's very typical of a lot of videos or how people view stammer. It's almost like they have to produce something about it, because so many people do have a stammer. It's roughly 1% of the population of the world, so it's a lot more than 70 million. It's about 85 to 90 million people that have some kind of stammer. So again, just really light on facts, really light on content, and a little bit blasé. Again, that's simply not true. Men, I think, or boys, have fractionally more stammer than girls, but again, the evidence isn't really there to support that. Yes, okay, there is some evidence, but there isn't a conclusive evidence out there to say that more boys stammer than girls. So actually, that's not true. If anything, boys fractionally stammer more than girls, but as a whole, that fact there is just simply not true.
For a long time, it was believed that the disorder was psychosomatic, meaning that it wasn't related to a physical cause, but rather a mental block, like stress. Well, it turns out that's not quite true. A new study published in the medical journal Human Brain Mapping looked at 62 people with and without stutters, focusing on blood flow in an area of the brain.
So he's brought some facts in there, which I quite like that. You know, I think that's the most factual bit of this so far. He's going to base this now on the study of 62 people, and okay, you're fine, that's fine, but 62 people out of 91 million is not even a fraction of a percent. So again, the video is picked up some facts and sticking them together, I think, clumsily in a video about stammering.
Called the Broca's area, which is located in the frontal lobe. They found that in people with stutters, there was less blood flow in this region, and blood flow in the brain is related to neural activity. The more severe the stutter, the less blood flow in the Broca. So what's so important about this part of the brain that it causes stuttering? Well, the Broca's area is associated with speech formation alongside another part of the brain called the Wernicke's area in the temporal lobe. They are part of the neural language loop and are both necessary to produce clear and concise speech. The Wernicke's area is the part where you choose which words you want to say and in which order. It's like a behind-the-scenes blueprint or a storyboard for your speech. This information is then fed into the Broca's area, which produces those words out loud, like a word factory. For stutterers, their Wernicke's area is able to put together the sentences, while the Broca's area struggles to produce them. The worst part of this is that in society, people with stutters are often thought to be dumber, simply because they can't get the words out, when in reality, they're no less intelligent or eloquent than their non-stutter.
So the first part of this, whereby he's basically coming across as a matter of fact, which I disagree with completely. There is some fact behind what he's saying, and there is some science behind that, but again, this, I need to state this, is that he's coming across that this is a factual piece as to why people have a stammer. This is broadly what people think, and we're talking about scientists here and people who look at this stuff, but this is not conclusive. So he's trying to promote this as fact, when actually it's very clumsy, because this is not actual fact. This is what is thought, and there's a high probability that this is one of the factors behind it, but this is not fact. And then to further on to go and say that some people think that stammerers are dumb, I do find that offensive, and I think that that part there needs to be really, I think these videos need to be very careful about the wording that they use. The fact that he's chosen to use that word dumb there, whether or not he disagrees and people think that or not, I do not understand why you even bring that into the video. There are other words to use and other ways to kind of convey the point that he's trying to make. Thank you so much for that. You know, it's good to know, and thank you for speaking for 90 million people there. You know, the fact that we can speak and we're not dumb than our fluent counterparts who can speak. So it's really good that you know, we're being praised by some guy in the video that's 2 minutes long or just over that. So, you know, thank you. I do feel better now about myself.
Counterparts. Another study recently published in JAMA Psychiatry looked at the brains of 94 stuttering and non-stuttering children and adults. They found that the baseline brain activity, the way neurons fired signals, was different for stutterers in the regions of the brain associated with the regulation of speech production, attention, and emotion. So the root causes of stuttering could be differences in brain circuits and blood flow. But stress and anxiety can also take a toll, making stuttering worse because the parts of your brain associated with attention and language processing interact with the parts of your brain that regulate emotion. Stuttering is a complicated condition without any easy fixes. Those who suffer from it may be able to curb the tendency with the help of a speech therapist, and for others...
So again, I now feel like he's backtracking. Okay, so he's stated at the start of the video these facts that he's come up with. So once again, this is a typical, we're going to make a video about something, and they've mashed together a load of facts, which at the start of the video, without precursor and without saying that actually this is not fact, he's promoted this as fact, and now in the next breath, after confirming that stammerers are not dumb and as eloquent as fluent people, he's now saying that actually, well, this could be the case or could not be the case. And the two things that he said are the studies are based on, one is based on 62 and one is based on 92 people. So 154 people do not represent 91 million people. So whilst yes, all this evidence is out there, and I'm not disputing the evidence that's out there because a lot of it is based on scientific fact, the promotion of this here is more of a case of let's just grab some facts together without actually thinking about how can we put a video together that actually makes sense and will add value to the conversation.
Like children, it may go away on its own. But these new developments certainly help point to the parts of the brain in question and may help scientists develop new solutions.
I think unintentionally, and you know, this guy just clearly just reads a script, I think unintentionally I think he's quite offensive, to be honest with you. I think the video has a potential to kind of be this highlights to Stammer, you know, and anything that brings the conversation of having a Stammer, I think, is a really, really good thing. However, videos like this are, in my opinion, are the worst type, whereby you do get a little bit of fact and the basis of some of the studies out there, but it's clumsily put together. So some of it is put together as facts, so at the start of the video it's almost spoken about as if this is the reason and the fact, and yes, that's based on truth and based on some of the science behind it, but then towards the end of the video it could be this is what people think. So there's a disparity between fact and fiction, and a lot of what they're saying here is based on fact, but to be clear, none of these are facts. They're just what people think cause a stammer. And then, to be quite honest with you, you know, the most offensive part and some of the most offensive things that I've heard here, to be told that I'm not dumb, and whether it's intentional or not, you need to be really careful and really clear about what you put in the video, especially to your audience, and you clearly don't understand and you clearly don't know about what it's like to have a stammer. Otherwise you wouldn't use the language and basically say that we are not dumb. I still can't believe that word was used, and you know, we are just as intelligent as fluent people. So I'm sorry, I just find the video offensive. I don't think it's intentionally offensive, but sadly I just think it comes across as clumsy, offensive and just insincere, just put together just to make a video and to get views without any real thought behind it. So as far as I'm concerned, terrible video, and just not great, to be honest with you. And on that bombshell, please don't forget to turn on the notifications to know when we post a new video. Please don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe, because it really does help push the channel out there to everybody and promote the content. And thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.